I've been consistently researching this over the past couple days because it's a really important topic and it's really popular right now, and I feel like some people don't research and look for all of the information before they support something. So in this video I wanted to focus on Uganda and the voices of people who are familiar with the situation themselves. Rosebell Kagumire is a journalist from Kampala, Uganda, and she's allowed me to share her views with you in this video. The first issue that Rosebell raises is that invisible children oversimplified the conflict in Northern Uganda.
So basically my major problem with this video is that it simplifies the story of millions of people in Northern Uganda. The war is much more complex than just one man called Joseph Kony, and it was much more in the beginning about resources and about marginalization of people in Northern Uganda.
Next, she discusses how invisible children misinformed people in their Kony 2012 video and how they didn't provide any information on the current situation.
Right now, Joseph Kony is not in Uganda. The situation in the video was 6 years ago. The situation has tremendously improved in Northern Uganda. People sleep at home and people are back home. Children are going to school. And it's about post-conflict recovery right now. And we don't see those issues of now, what needs to be done, especially when he puts Uganda at the center of this conflict. We need to see the situation that is currently on the ground, which I don't see in the video. This is another video where I see an outsider trying to be a hero rescuing African children.
Rather than sensationalizing, Rosebell offers insight on how else to approach this issue.
I think it's all about trying to make a difference, but how do you tell the story of Africans is much more important on what the story is actually. Because if you're showing me as voiceless, as hopeless, you have no space telling my story. You shouldn't be telling my story if you don't believe that I also have the power to change what is going on. And don't get me wrong, Joseph Kony is a wanted man. He has been indicted and he has committed so many crimes and he should be brought to book. But how do we go about it? We have to see governments of South Sudan, governments of South Sudan, DRC, Uganda, Central African Republic, paying more commitment, because ultimately these are the governments that will bring this war to an end. That's why I said the war is not just about Joseph Kony. Solving this war is about pacifying the region, making sure communities do not go back to rebellion, making sure you stop a rebellion before it starts.
And finally, she acknowledges good intention, but she does not agree with how invisible children simplified and approached the issue.
Maybe his intentions are good, but how he goes about it, I will not agree with that. And I think there are people doing great initiatives on the ground, even before he went there. I covered this while I was in the Northern Uganda in 2005. I saw that kind of suffering he's talking about, but yet we do not think that this story can be told in that simple way, just to say it's about a good guy and a bad guy. And it's important that these discussions are captured if you're genuinely trying to end a war and make sure that another rebellion does not begin. Thank you.
Please watch Rosebell's entire video by either clicking here or clicking the link in the description box below. Rosebell was also in an interview with BBC, and here are a few more of her points. The woman's voice in the beginning of this clip is a caller from the UK named Louise.
Some of the Ugandans who think it is patronising maybe haven't been affected as much as some of the other ones have.
I find that comment about saying if you find this patronizing, you haven't been affected. I've been a journalist in Uganda. I have covered this war. I have listened to stories of women from Central African Republic who have been forced to pound their babies in pots by Joseph Kony. So please, we cannot say that because we don't agree with the approach to the problem, it doesn't mean we don't know the problem. The issue is that right now, we are seeing the video is only about American intervention. We are seeing no mention that actually African forces are on the ground and they have there are big challenges. We are not saying the fact that Joseph Kony is in an area that possibly is bigger than the size of Uganda. There is this patronizing that there are no local initiatives at all by using just a kid to say that there is nothing going on whatsoever. It's important to tell the children's story, but when you tell that people's story like they are powerless and there's nothing going on, that America is the sole savior of of these children. It is not true. Locally in Uganda, in northern Uganda, where I have been in a few months, is that children are going to school. There are few people right now in IDP camps. There are no night commuters. The film basically shows us the image of Uganda 6 years ago, and that image is not there today. Probably that is the image in Central Africa, and that is the image could be in Congo and South Sudan. I think the focus should be in these countries. Actually, if you're talking about stopping Kony, this is where he's wreaking havoc. Otherwise, the focus of Uganda should be on post-conflict rehabilitation, making sure children have enough education, making sure that the healthcare systems are rebuilt. There are challenges on the ground, but what we are seeing in the film was happening in Uganda 6 years ago.
The next voice you're going to hear is Michael Wilkerson, who wrote an article on this for Foreign Policy magazine.
Hey, Rosebell. Good to hear your voice. Rosebell and I are old journalism buddies from Uganda, but I think that the point about whether or not this video has an actionable goal is really important, because the call to action for people who watch the video at the end of the video is to do 4 things. It's to share the video, sign a pledge, buy the action kit, which costs $30, and then sign up to donate more if you're really in the mood. And then the overarching goal is to tell everybody that you're aware of this so that the U.S. forces that are already there will not be withdrawn. Invisible Children is an expert on this, and they're clearly an expert at social marketing. So the fact that I, and I'm sure Rosebell and others, are being bombarded with people who watch the video and think that there's ongoing war in northern Uganda shows that either Invisible Children did a poor job of educating its audience in a 30-minute video, or they intentionally underplayed the fact that there's no violence in northern Uganda, because the most powerful footage in the video is from northern Uganda in 2003.
And then they discussed the worry of withdrawing the U.S. troops.
So maybe now Obama has realised, okay, people want this. I'm not going to withdraw the troops. I'm going to leave them in there.
But no one's even mentioned the possibility of withdrawing the troops.
The troops have just arrived actually a few months ago, and we haven't even noticed any change so far. But nobody has hinted at the possibility of withdrawing.
And you can listen to that entire podcast by clicking the link below in the description box. I also linked to a UK Telegraph article on the Ugandan reception of Invisible Children's Kony 2012 film. And thank you, Rosebell, for allowing me to share your voice. You can follow Rosebell on Twitter at RosebellK. All that said, I realized that a lot of people have shared this Kony 2012 video many times. And we want to feel good about ourselves by trying to help, and we want to be able to say that we're doing something, that we're making a difference. And I think that's why people get so defensive when information is presented that kind of tells you that that approach isn't the correct approach. And I hope I brought some things to light that maybe you weren't aware of before. If you think some of your friends or family haven't heard any of these viewpoints from actual Ugandans either, please let them know. Share with them Rosebell's video, share with them the podcast, the Telegraph article. I'm sure there are a lot more sources out there that you can find if you research yourself as well. I hope I didn't forget anything this time, and thank you for watching. Knowing about the world is a good thing.